actions together?
Sure, but like, again, are you really going high ground on Medusa early? I don't think so.
Yeah, 2 items. That's kind of the...
Okay.
Isn't that the big strength of Deucer into a lot of bad matchups? You go Manta, Butterfly, get Aegis, then try and end the game. I don't think it'll happen because you can always skewer. Like, that's the big thing. Early on, skewer inside the base, coil onto tier 4 tower. Ponyo's probably going to give up first blood, so a couple of blood grenade enjoys and a first blood given over to Cicada.
I mean, even just the coil skewer, right? You don't even need to be inside a base.
Yeah,
it's just that instant snap of it, which is always going to be great. You could even, you know, depending on where they are, get the Spirit Breaker charge to be able to snap the coil, you know, things of that nature. I don't know. Like, I know you could play early-ish timings with the Medusa, and the other thing is that's kind of good about the Medusa is that there's really no diffusal blade builders on iG.Vitality, so she's going to have a good time there, but is it going to be a good enough time? You know, is iG.Vitality going to be able to push this one late-ish?
There's no way she doesn't free farm bottom. Like, they picked a Mag Spirit Breaker into an Undying. This is the freest Medusa lane you will ever get. I'm a bit surprised on this Mag pick. I mean, you're going to have to try and fall back and make a little bit of stacks for TZY. We've seen even with the change to Universal, Undying still just destroys this hero. So God King will get that farm. He will have an incredible timing on his items, but a lot of it then has to come down to how I feel like this mid lane is really the question mark for me. Like when we got to cast Big Brain, we were both very impressed with Cicada's performance. Like he looks great as the 2, but you know, how's Ricky going to pair? Can they combine up with the Darkseer early on? How does that lane even go as well with CSJ and Tusk?
Yeah, I mean, it's even one of those things where, like, when he makes these rotations happen, where does he do it to? You know, Darkseer Tusk isn't, like, it's really strong for the lane, but when you think early-ish team fights, it's not amazingly strong, you know? So, like, is Ricky going to be able to change anything like that? Is Puck going to be able to nullify the effectiveness of what has been happening in these other side lanes? Because we both agree that Tusk Darkseer should be strong, Medusa Undying should be strong. So, I mean, you could just see what they feel about that on the bottom side of the map. We very rarely see this pull happen anymore, but Hara has been able to pull this wave all the way back behind the tower and really nullify the effect of Desire on his Undying. Sorry, Desiree.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. You see, they're kind of doing the same thing top lane as well, so CSJ is going to be perfectly okay.
Like, I feel like top you want to be fighting.
Maybe they need levels, like maybe level 2 now, or look. I'm
level 3 for Tusk.
I'm not quite sure.
Like 1-1-1, really, really strong on a Tusk, and you would have then CSJ 2 points in the Ion Shell. He's probably going to save either Vacuum or Surge for the specific situation. But yeah, I think that's really the timing that they're going for here. They've still got a Blood Grenade on the Tusk as well.
Shall see, Ponyo's gone for the 1-0-1 build, so this lane no levels in the glaive. I'll try and spam out his abilities as much as he can. I mean, he's got 2 mangoes with a clarity as well.
Going for another pull. I mean, again, no stuns. This is what'll happen. Clever play by Ukyo here to try and get the waves to connect through. Oh, he only gets the range creep. Actually looking to reconnect them. He has no waveform. They know this.
It's gonna take a lot of damage now, Ukyo. With Ponyo nearby as well, chucks out his own round of spells. It'll push back the Darkseer, so just a bit of back and forth between either side.
I just feel like they've made this aggressive play a little bit too soon. You know, like they lost the range creep, but you still got the full wave. You still would have gotten your level 3, but instead they go forward, they use the Blood Grenade, they use a bunch of extra tangos on the Tusk, and it's before they reach that big level 3 timing. Also, Ponyo got a full clarity off, which, you know, he almost should be constantly taking harass in this lane, so he's still able to layer out that Arcane Curse Last Word combination.
Meanwhile, mid lane as well, Cicada is off to a very good start. He's already got double Wraithband with the full magic one, so that first blood definitely coming in handy with all the stats that he's gotten, so this lane
the last
is not
hit differential.
Yeah.
Like, he's got 20 damage basically over butterfly effect. Kind of nutty.
I guess you can always use your spells to CS. That's the one nice thing about the puck, but they will get to a stage where, you know, Cicada does have some kill threat. If he finds 6 before Butterfly Effect, there might be some concerns. You know, both sides have decent support rotation. I'd say I don't think it's too favored for one or the other. Like Silencer and Undying both will kind of struggle.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got a Spirit Breaker, right? Like, he is the one that's going to be able to make those rotations fairly easily. Again, it's just going to depend on when you use the charge, you know, because right now they've got vision of him entirely under this lane. Speaking of bottom, though, Desiree.
Yeah. We're not doing this. We are not calling Desiree. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. It was a nice play.
How could you not call a man his name?
It's not. It's the desire. I desire him to be called his actual name. And, you know, we got skewed under the tower. That's a big reason why he died. Haru got a bash after the charge as well. So that's a huge kill. That is a kill that really should not be happening. Now you got a full wave for free for the Magnus as well. So this bottom lane, we saw it was, I mean, you still see the last hit differential between the two. It is very, very favored to God King, but TZY is getting a lot more out of it than you would be expecting.
Ponyo's dropping a little bit low, but I really don't think he cares. He used all of Tusk's mana and a mango, and Tusk is still not level 3. Like, this is a concern for mine. Oh, if he's able to snipe that courier with the boots on it, that'll be really nice. I don't think they're going to be able to secure any sort of kills onto Ukyo, but, you know, just to be able to prevent that sort of counterplay, perhaps, allow him to join the fight if they do end up going in onto Ponyo, that's going to be a pretty big deal. Tusk... just going straight into the one. I want to see him get like another mango or another clarity or something like that to be able to pair together with this. What's up?
You're about to get Arcane on CSJ, so
sure, that's fine.
So he's got a Venom creep and a normal creep as well. So yeah, definitely should have enough gold, and you'll be able to continue to spam the spells then for Big Brain up top. Does look like both offlaners off to a bit more of a rocky start, but that is to be expected. Like we said, Darkseid not the greatest laner, and Magnus into a little bit more of a trickier matchup too. Really now it's going to come down to how these mid laners look to get involved. Both Cicada and Butterfly Effect are very equal in regards to the experience, so it's not like one person's going to have level 6 earlier than the other.
Ponyo might be in a little bit of trouble now. Surprisingly enough, he might just end up going down solo instead of needing the Darkseer for that purpose. Might enable a turnaround kill, though, with that blood grenade.
Nice dodge as well. He still will go down. Wastes a little bit of extra time. Mana as well. Not the worst. Gets a solo kill. And meanwhile, CSJ's free farming under the tower.
Yeah, I mean, they're really protecting CSJ. You know, when they made that pull happen, I was like, okay, surely now Tusk gets his level 3. He gets it off the back of that silencer kill that, you know, maybe he feels shouldn't have happened. So, you know, luxury for him. CSJ still gets all of that solo experience. And now he's level 5, so maybe you can get a kill onto this Morphling now. He's had to put a couple of points into the waveform, which we don't really see quite as often these days. You know, you maybe see the one value point into it, but much more cause a value in the adaptive strike.
First use of the core of the game for Butterfly Effect. The Cloud going to prove to be a bit of an issue. Looks like that's not to be. Ponyo rewarded with the kill. Very nicely done, them combining up with the first core from Butterfly Effect. Meanwhile, top lane though, Ukyo getting dived out of the tower. We should be able to chase him down. TSJ with 3 points in the Iron Shell is plenty of damage. This is a catapult wave as well that's beating to the tier 1. So this will be a lot of tower damage off the back of that kill.
So it's a really good reactive Dota from both sides, right? Because, you know, you see the Tusk TP back up top, you know that you're enabled to go for that first Dream Coil in onto the Riki and get that first kill. But as soon as they see the Silencer join in, they're like, you know what? Now the Morphling's in a little bit of trouble. We were saying before, what a Darkseer is able to do just purely off the back of levels. He's almost level 6, and it's only 7 minutes into the game. CSJ is farming like a beast.
What's going on between the two supports? Haru is able to get the Wisdom Rune.
Nice.
And I feel like Design needs to leave pretty shortly. Now the Tombstone's being killed off. Haru's just going to chase him down. Ponyo even Teep is down as well. I think they really needed the silencer, but he wanted to get involved, get a little bit more experience to his name and gold. So very nicely done.
Yeah, I think the lane is far enough back on the top side for Ukyo that it doesn't really matter all that much. Looks like they're going to be maybe making a movement towards mid around that power rune timing. Puck's got the Dream Coil back up again. Not the greatest amount of mana, but the lane's still in a pretty good spot for iG.Vitality. Again, they want to take this late-ish, so anything that they can do to slow down the tempo with these supports, they're going to need to play a pretty selfless game.
Oh, get it. Oh, okay. They're still going to charge him, so even though we stole the Arcane Rune, Tusk in a whole world of danger. Meanwhile, they have isolated Ponyo over to the right side. He's going to get dived onto the tier 1 tower, now back towards the Tusk.
Tusk will
They
live.
will not be able to jump him.
Can get a turnaround kill here on Tahara. Still 5 seconds away from the charge. Depends how quick he is on the fingers for that snowball. Not quick enough.
I was going to say, is he going to jump? No. All right. Evenish game with all this going on. I mean, like we mentioned, Goking is free farming down bottom, loving life, shoves out the lane, goes back, farms these 2 camps. It's just so calm as a carry. You know, you don't have to really think too much. Just push out the wave, go back, farm up. It's just brainless stuff, to be honest. You know, what a life that carries have now with these 2 camps. Oh, top lane. That's a pretty good charge from Hara. Tombstone first ball of the game as well. Look at the morphling illusion. So iG.Vitality need to respect that butterfly effect though. Wraps on the backline, able to secure the kill. It's a 1-for-1, but still big brain. Try and pursue some of the weak members of iG.Vitality, but they've been able to reposition accordingly. So very nice position out of butterfly effect. His first real movement of the game is going to be rewarded with a kill.
Again, they really just don't have answers to this puck, so if he's able to get vision to be able to go for those backline dives, which they've been provided by this Observer Ward to the south side of the Dire Camp Watcher, it's just going to enable them to make these rotations very reliably. They're even going to deny up their tower, kind of doing Big Brain's work for them, but I suppose anything that's just going to maybe prevent people from farming under a false sense of security. Ukyo even moving towards this mid lane to feel like he can pick up that farm. I guess until the Diffusal Blade is completed for Cicada, he's going to feel safe-ish. The most important thing is basically knowing where the Darkseer is at this point. You know, the Darkseer is the main concern.
Is he going to live? No way. Why would they even coil him? Dude, all of this for a Tusk. They might get Desire as well, so it's going to be both supports that go down on Big Brain. This is 5 iG.Vitality heroes. I guess so
the only way that I feel like this is okay is if at least 3 of those heroes go down bottom and just kick this Deucer out of the lane, you know. But how are you going to do that now without Dream Coil is my question to that. You know, it's still early enough that these respawn timers are so short. You know, they're going to be able to join in bottom if they really want to. But I mean, they've got a siege creep. Never mind, it was just destroyed. I was thinking maybe they could play around that siege creep to push in this bottom lane because, yeah, Deucer cannot sit here farming just completely freely any longer. Like, this has gone on for far too long.
Will they ever be able to kick her out, though? Like, isn't that the fight you want to take for Big Brain? If they dive past the tower with Tombstone laid down and, like, Darkseer TP in, you're kind of stuck here on IGV.
You are. I think it's just going to be off the back of, like, maybe this Observer Ward near the bottom power rune gets a quick pick off on somebody, you know, just not using the coil, using, like, Spirit Breaker charge and, you know, maybe a skewer back or something like that. And then you just immediately connect with a siege creep onto this bottom side of the map. But again, that's going to be at 15.5 minutes. And then Deucer's probably going to have that full banter. Is going to be on the way towards her next big item. Probably the Skadi this game. I mean, it's a pretty decent Skadi game. They're lacking in damage early on. You're going up against a Morphling, so why not?
I was thinking Butter. So that's interesting. We have a different read between it's one of the two. I mean, that's really what we see. It's like Manta, and then you decide Skadi or Butter, whatever the choice is. So
I do wonder if maybe they want to make a play on iG.Vitality soon-ish. I mean, I think they have the capabilities to do it, and I think that they've got the ultimates, you know, like Undying's level 4 still. That's the big concern for me. You're like, they're not going to be able to be as strong as they are. Should be fine, maybe not.
Oh, they even wall for it. Let's see if but TZY is pretty weak.
He is.
It's only an RP onto Desire, but Butterfly Effect, once again, coming to the rescue, secures the 1-for-1. Tombstone Gold as well is going to be given over. And Tusk hasn't retreated quick enough. Butterfly Effect's able to catch up to him. Cicada's going to finally get involved with his Diffuser Blade. I haven't really seen the Riki too much this game, but his farm's been pretty okay. That early timing out of his big item, we're going to start to see him a lot more. You got a Greaves now too, so yeah, even though iG.Vitality like getting these trades across the map, I feel like just the cores on Big Brain are getting way too much farm, and now it's kind of time to start making a little bit more plays with these items.
Yeah, it's like trades for what, basically, you know, like, is it something that's really going to change the outcome of this game? The Medusa 0, 0, and 0 on God King. Like, that is just sitting back, farming, no cares in the world.
Exactly how it should be.
Oh, instant pop to the smoke.
Cicada's nearby as well. See if he feels okay with jumping in. Global Silence committed. Maybe think Cicada wanted to try and follow up. Pyro will still be able to get the bounce back.
They got Coil
This is a big kill onto Cicada. I mean, he has no one to jump over to. He's going to waste their time, but... Alright, now we know this Riki hero, like, you farm your way to the top of the net worth, and every single death you get is going to be able to slow down how much impact you're going to have as this game goes on.
Looks like God King, he's got that Eagle song queued up with, so you might be right about the old Butterfly. I mean, it's okay, right? Like, I guess both is going to be able to prevent him from dying, because a lot of their damage coming through is just purely from right-click at this point. Spirit Breaker, Magnus, Morphling. I don't know. Like, it really could go either way. Maybe they feel like this is also going to enable him to just farm that little bit more. They feel like maybe they want to get the third item up for the Medusa, so that the game is on beyond any shadow of a doubt.
Another freebie. Back to top lane, though. By breaking out, a little bit of trouble is going to be Butterfly Effect. Caught inside the silencer with a vacuum. They're going to hold him in there for an extra couple of seconds. That's a control they need. Get the slippery park. They're already looking for more as well. Another round of the shards, but it's off the mark. So one thing that continues to be a bit of an issue here is we actually see God King finally bottom and is rewarded with the tier 1 tower. But one thing that continues to be an issue for Radiant is just the levels on the supports. That's something you brought up earlier. Hopefully these kills are going to start to will help out in that regard. But this is another really deep dive. We saw they were penalized last time. Looks like TZY with the RP. He's got no one there to fault, but in fact, he's just going to feed away his own life. So there's that experience much needed between all the boys up top. A kill onto Mag as well, who is slowly starting to catch up.
They're even pinging Ukyo in this mid lane. You've got God King, who's a full 3 levels ahead of him at this point in time. Really not that scared of having to face up against him. And Tusk going for the full wraparound. Doesn't have the Blink Dagger quite yet, though, so won't be able to find him. They've also got that Wisdom Rune still cooking next to their Tormentor. So I'm sure if old mate Desiree is able to pick that one up, it'll be fine.
Oh, it's a pretty nice ward. They see Ponyo and Ukyo. Ukyo's actually going to TP out. Can they cancel it? No way to get there in that space of time, so just go for the kill into the silencer, and they'll try and catch up to Butterfly Effect. Ooh. Have they got the desired control? Looks like they will. Silence laid down from Cicada. Right in front of a tier 1 tower means another objective is going to go the way of Big Brain.
Like this play from Ukyo, like he's instantly looking to try and shove in the mid lane as quickly as possible. Like, just force someone to TP back. Force this death ball to stop. You know, this is what Big Brain are looking to play around Cicada. Looking to try and chase him. There's a DD on the bottom side of the river as well for him to be able to play with. So maybe he's going to abandon his pursuit of the Morphling to be able to pick that one up. Like, that will be the case. But, I mean, Deuce's 1,000 gold off of the Talisman of Evasion, which is kind of nutty. Butterfly will be picked up at that point in time as well. Level 15, crazy levels off the back of, you know, a previous team fight that she was able to mildly join in onto.
Cicada? Very deep global use and no escape. Just gives away the ward now as well, looking for the hero play, but is going to be cut down very quickly from iG.Vitality. And I don't know if they can get this tower, though.
I don't know. I feel like they can. With no Ricky, they are going to be lacking in damage. Maybe with a Deucer coming to join, it's going to help them. But you've got TZY coming, trying to wrap around onto the back lines with a Blink Dagger, so maybe you can get a Blink Skewer back.
There's the jump. Is the control going to be off Ukyo? It's able to activate with the turnaround TZY. That's a pretty big RP. They'll need the Stone Gates to protect him with the call. They're going to be able to break it as well. Stone Gates finally out. And look at the turnaround. God King shreds in the damage. iG.V. They will find a 3-for-2 trade in the end, but we just imagine what could have happened if that butterfly was delivered a couple of seconds faster.
Man, I think that the coil came in a little bit late, actually. They didn't get the snap off. The skewer happened before the Dream Coil. I think they could have probably get that full team wipe if that snap happens. I mean, this is a puck that's level 12 even prior to that, I believe. So I actually still only had the 1 point in the Dream Coil. But
Cicada? Oh, not again. The boy's coming to try and act as the Blink target, but another death.
I mean, he's been able to get a kill onto the puck a couple of times, but it's just one of those cases where it's like, maybe he's overestimating his strength. You know, a lot of it was on the back of good setups that Tusk has been able to provide him.
I think the big thing for me is that just delays Roche now. It's 25. The lanes are in a pretty good position. He's going to be back up surely. Maybe he doesn't stall it out too much, but I think you're really looking to try and take it now for Big Brain. You know the ultimates are on cooldown for Dire. You've got Tag Team plus the Deucer with the Butterfly. Like that's a free Roche. So every death kind of stalls that out a little bit.
And they're finally able to take this bottom tower 19 minutes in. I mean, I guess Ukyo, he's getting into a pretty decent amount of farm himself, and this was the timing that we were a little bit worried about, right? Like, he's starting to get towards that Aghanim Scepter. He's starting to catch up a little bit. Well, not catch up in levels, but at least get a decent amount of levels for himself. He's still 4 behind that Medusa. And TZY...
Vision's pretty good down bot.
He's going full utility into the 4-staff after the Blink Dagger. No farming accelerants for himself. His job is to make sure that you can find out the key target, whether that be Darkseer, Tusk, Medusa, any of them would be A-OK. Except for probably the Undying. Probably don't want to need to use it for all of that purposes, but just try and isolate away from the rest of the team. You've still got Global Silence, which is going to give you a ton of value.
They should know something's going on. This Deuce is playing very aggressively, really, for the first time this game. They scan kind of the remnants of the T1 town mid, expecting they're a little bit further behind than what they truly are at the moment.
Arcane Rune. And Darkseer's got the normal punch.
TZY might have revealed himself for a second. Once again, it's another deep attempt under the T2 tower. TZY can try and get the skew away, but the vacuum from CSJ, perfect timing to kill in front of the objective. There is a glyph for Die to play with, so we'll be able to stall this out, but I don't know if there's going to be a defense.
I don't think it should be. They should just make sure that they're not dying here. You know, if Puck's able to use an illusory orb just to be able to push out the wave, to maybe slow down this next timing, they're going to pop the glyph here to try and kill off this siege creep wave. But it's all about just getting Morphling to level 15 and getting enough gold for the Aghanim Scepter. And you don't even have a Magnus to be able to make plays with, so I'm really not expecting to see too much happen here. Look at Hara. He's on a little bit of a mission to try and yoink away this Wisdom Rune. Quicker fingers.
Ooh.
Tusk.
I really want to see them play for this Roche. You're going to be very important to get... Yes, talking Big Brain, because Ukyo is about to have Scepter. If he gets his item before that Roche fight, you're going to be a very, very scary threat. Die, they can get themselves set up. Like they've taken this T1 tower down bottom for a little bit of time, so they can get the vision down accordingly. Ponyo's trying to find a location for the ward.
I mean, from her perspective as well, she just wants to get the
Hara.
That's a deep dive.
CSJ. Meanwhile, Cicada's going to try and take the silence out of the equation. That's a pretty big kill if they can remove the global silence from the equation.
I mean, even just having no coil is going to be pretty enormous too.
That'll result in them getting a kill. So Puck doesn't want to try and take the fight with no coil. So kill into the silencer, into Roshan by the looks of it. There you go.
I mean, and you just gave Medusa free gold where you didn't actually make a kill happen. The Morphling at least has been able to get up to his scepter now, and he's going to have level 15 after this camp. But off the back of this, Medusa's going to have her Skadi as well. So like an additional item that's just going to make it so much more challenging. Yes, it's more stats for the Morphling to steal, which is nice for him, but I just feel like the active on that is just going to be so oppressive to what they're trying to do right now to put up any sort of defense on iG.Vitality.
This is, do you reckon high ground ages? I think so. Yeah. Let's see, that's going to be high ground with Skadi on God King. Everyone else is finding a decent chunk of farm as well. So let us see. I mean, there's still the big thing that we mentioned earlier on in the game is that going high ground into the potential of like coil, skewer under tower. So skewer to break the coil, and then you're stuck even longer. That's going to break everyone out of position for Radiant, which can make it very difficult if you're taking fights away from the tombstone that could already be laid down to get this objective. So let us see. Let us see how they're going to be able to hold the base on iG.Vitality.
I don't know if they're going to be able to. I mean, Ukyo, he's sticking around on this bottom side of the map. I was actually a little worried that he might end up getting picked off solo. But at least they're getting, you know, these tiny trades, right? TZY able to push in the top side. Now they don't have a tier 1 tower to be able to play with on the top side, but that's not really where they want to be anyway. I mean, the next big item for iG.Vitality honestly feels like this halberd, but because he hasn't gone any of those farming accelerants, it's going to take him ages to be able to get to that point. He's going to need to come back right now. Other boys there for him to be able to land this blink skewer.
Oh, there's the skewer. He's going to shrug it off.
There's the morph.
Desire just runs inside the base. Tusk going to jump as well. They set up for the multi-man RP, but they turn around from CSJ. He's going to do his best to try and protect the Medusa, who just stands strong. She's way too far. The response, it's not enough. They use their ultimates, but there was no damage to follow up with. No RP, no global. It'll be another attempt at a skewer under the tower, but he can pop the Stone Gaze if required. Snake's gonna give her a little bit more mana to play with. First life taken care of. Round 2 ready to go.
Skewer in 3.
Skewer in a couple of seconds. And yeah, he's not gonna mess around. Stone Gaze used to help the retreat. They want to get further away from the base. Even the Tusk would jump to try and disrupt TZY. Pretty good snowball timing, but it's gonna drag him further inside IGV's base. And there's the defense we were hoping for, but they're not out of danger just yet. A 3v5, is Dusa strong enough to be able to still come out on top? As iG.Vitality, they want to try and deal with the supporting cast. They'll go for Cicada. An easy blow thanks to Ukyo's damage. And look at them just avoid God King. He'll get the kill to the Sansa. Should get TZY. Still alive. Vanguard ticks enough to keep him alive for the moment. It's Dusa and Undying against the world.
He's just waiting for the perfect timing on the skewer, but there's a couple of times now that he's just been a little bit too slow. Gets right click, gets that Blink Dagger disabled. At least he's got pretty full HP to be able to play around with, and they might just focus down the Undying.
And they're going to do just that. Got the Sentries with the Glimmer Cape's going to do nothing. TZY tries to break the coil. The boys are respawning. Let's see if they're going to be able to get to God King fast enough, though. Attempts to nice man to dodge God King. Can he do it by himself? Level 20 now to work with. Extra talent with a Stone Gaze. Doesn't need it just yet. Still, the mana starting to go down, but CSJ is back and he's got the creeps as well if required. God King.
Give him the normal punch.
Alive. They only tickle the Medusa. A triple kill for your king. And now a barracks to add to his name as well.
Yeah, so Medusa turns out still a pretty strong hero, not even needing to rely on the old, the stupid illusions pushing that are unkillable. You know, it's actually the real hero that's unkillable. Even with all of the supporting cast, like you mentioned, being killed off towards the start, it's not enough. And I gotta say, it's a little unfortunate, but TZY, he just hasn't been able to land more than like a couple of amazing skewers. You know, we haven't felt the impact of this Magnus truly coming through into these engagements.
Oh, they got the Morphling illusion. Should be able to make this a little bit easier now for them. Level 21 on God King.
I mean, it'll need to be on TZY. They should know this.
Oh, that's super deep. Super, super deep. Ricky. Space created gets a full set of barracks. They will catch another though. Looks like God King's out. Wants nothing to do with this attempt now. With no objectives to claim, there's no reason for him to be around.
I mean, you're happy with 2 lanes of racks at 27 minutes into the game. I mean, Medusa still didn't die at the end of everything. Part of it is, of course, Sakata kind of putting himself in harm's way, perhaps a little bit too much. And, I mean, he's just doubling on the damage as well, going straight into the nullifier after all is said and done. Unfortunate for TZY. I mean, he is pretty much level in net worth to a position 4 Spirit Breaker, which, you know, not the most ideal situation for this Magnus to be in. He really needs that Heaven's Halberd, not just for the active, but even just to be able to stand around in a lot of these fights, waiting for the perfect, like, 4-staff skewer back, because he's just dying to Medusa split shots at this rate. Yeah. Cock kick's just going straight Moonshard. Why not? Already feels very unkillable.
Okay. I like that, because, well, this is a really cost-effective item to end the game, and I was actually even going to start to mention, like, even though they're ahead and probably going to win.
You were going to say Rapier, were you?
No. I was going to say just the answer to the Morphling Scepter. Like, people are still prioritizing the Lincolns, but yeah, you know, we saw that at I think it was the Lima Major where we were actually starting, might have even been TI, goddamn, where we were starting to see Moonshard as a way to address the Morphling. I know that was something that Arme actually favored back then. Love to see him back. But, you know, we've got some other tier 1 carries to fulfill the big shoes that he has left. So, yeah, how this shard's going to come into play for God King and CSJ. Well, once again, going to be able to catch out TZY. He's just looking to try and stall the game out as best as he can. He's pretty mobile. See what? Force Blink. And he's out.
He's out of there. I mean, Arme's got modeling career to attend to,
yes.
All right? He doesn't have any time for these games, you know?
Yes, no, he does not. But if there is ever a potential of him rejoining Somnus and Chalice and FY, I know there were a lot of posts about them partying together a couple months ago. That would be...
Not that one. Oh, no. His emotional moment.
Oh, yeah. That would be... I'd be a happy man. It's going to be great to
see some of the boys, though, over in Bali. Somnus, Chalice, FY.
Have heard, I think it's China Dota in a nutshell or something like that. You would probably, incredible tweets from him. Very, very big fan of the page. Has given a lot of information to the China scene, just a nice deep dive in, and said that Somnus, I think, believes that, you know, still this is a team that probably not going to have good results at the major. You know, is just looking for the experience and just happy to play with the boys again.
He wants to restore a bit of China's honor, you know, because they've kind of been in the wilderness, let's say, ever since, TI 10, it feels.
Dire are scanning.
What was the highest placement at TI 11? Where did OGD place?
It was Asta 4th.
Yeah. So, let us see. It's a long road for these China lads, but this is where it starts in Division 2 to get that development.
Oh, can't get back picked off. Doesn't have buyback.
They're going to get him again. TZ wipes, gets the RP, but that is a spiteful use of the ultimate. Yeah, but you would have liked to have it when he's up in 40 seconds because it's not the longest death timer for him. And they're going to walk it down.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I don't know if they're going to be able to defend this. I mean, you could just go straight for the throne knowing that this Magnus doesn't have the buyback available, but why not make an absolute certainty of it?
All right, CSJ.
Didn't get the normal punch off.
That he didn't. I'll be able to deal with the illusion as well. So, early use of the wall. Do they just consider Roche? What is going to be the call for Big Brain?
Seems like the safe play.
Did God King buy the shard?
He did. Yes. Seems like it. I mean, it's going to be good information of if Spirit Breaker's charging you, right, from across the map.
Yeah. And I guess you always get one when the Morphling, like you need to use 2 single target spells, Strike to break the Lincolns, and then the Replicate as well. I don't know what the cooldown of Cold-Blooded is. Oh, it's pretty long, 12 seconds.
Well, they're going to slowly move down towards this bottom side.
We're dropped on the cliff, iG.Vitality. Got a pretty good
Still doesn't
position
have
at the
RP
moment.
though.
You need that team fight. You need that ultimate.
He'd love that level 20 as well on the Morphling.
So close, man. So close. Under 100 experience.
You can only spend so much time moving over to the left-hand side. This is a lineup that takes Roshan pretty damn quickly, but also a lineup that doesn't necessarily want to fight inside such an enclosed area against a Puck and a Magnus that has RP up in 5 seconds. They pop a second smoke for it on iG.Vitality. Gonna get able to get that full wraparound. They'll see the courier giving them all the information they could want. Great
The Tusk is
positioning.
not the person, though. That's not the guy you want to jump to start the fight. TZY now, all his time's going to be spent retreating instead of trying to initiate and help the boys out. It's up to Ukyo to dive in. Get the first kill, but the Global Silence proves to be a bit of an issue.
Great
It's not
wall.
going to matter because CSJ with the Greaves turns it back around. Wall lay it down. Ukyo forced to stand his ground with the help of the coil. Radiant will not be able to retreat. Any stunners, any cancels. Ukyo, he'll escape. But still, it is another fight that goes the way of Big Brain. Now they can reap the rewards with Roche as well.
Yeah, it's just great positioning, right? They know that the only way that they're going to win any sort of fight is if they get 5-man coiled, if they get 5-man RP'd. You know, all that damage coming through from the Medusa is just irresistible. You know, it's unfortunate that Magnus ended up doing 0 in that fight. 0 damage. He was just fully focused on the retreat. And, you know, props need to be given to Cicada as well to be able to punish him while he was waiting for the second volley of spells. You can see needing to use the skewer. He's not level 20 yet. He's not even close. So he's still going to have quite a long time on the skewer range. He's not even level 15, so he doesn't have the skewer cooldown. And you can just see Cicada going for the backline play, gets the Blink Strike onto him, takes the Magnus out of the fight, and takes away any sort of turnaround potential.
When you said he's not even 15, I was amazed because that was the timing I was going to bring up earlier when they were defending that bottom set of barracks with the lower reduction in the skewer. Thought maybe that could help out with high ground. He hasn't got 1 level since then. That is crazy. TZY.
He also just
Not the
body
game
blocked this small camp that he was standing in, so maybe if he was able to take that, would have been different. But I mean, Wisdom Rune's coming up in a minute, and he will actually get it if Ponyo takes the Wisdom Rune. Yeah, your Spirit Breakers leapfrogged you in net worth as well. So let's think of the positives. Ukyo, level 20, so he's got waveform attacking targets. No Satanic yet, but he does have the Morbid Mask. I mean, the downside, of course, is that against the Medusa, lifesteal is pretty much useless. Like, you do not lifesteal against the Mana Shield. Or, you do, but like 2%, which really not that impactful at all.
Would you agree that Darks is probably the most important target for iG.Vitality?
For the start of the fight, sure. You know, you just got to take away a lot of that control. You want to take away the normal punch. You want to take away the Morphling Wall of Replica illusion.
Are they going to go? They see TZY in the trees. I think the snake actually gave them vision, so I know that he's getting set up.
He needs it so bad.
Waving. Oh, there we go,
they
CSG.
back him
Back down
down.
to the base. TZY, that's how you initiate fights. They even use the Global Silence to try and help cover the retreat. But he's going to be in the grave. He does have a buyback, but that is so much committed just to keep the Magnus alive.
At least get rid of the tombstone, but Medusa don't care about no tombstone. He's still got Moonshot. She's got a backpacked MKB.
Very cool. Very farmed. Charge in, higher. Looking to disrupt CSJ though. Finds a bit of an opening. No extra follow-up. Darks is falling pretty low at the moment. With the Stone Gates,
They've
it's
used
going to
the
force
coil.
iG.V to retreat. This is about to expire though. TZY finds a pretty decent RP under the tower, but God King will just
You're
turn.
getting Megan.
The only thing on his mind is those objectives. Mega Creep's now on the agenda. How do you hold this? 5v4, but still with the Aegis to work with for another 2 minutes on God King. He's just going to tear apart TZY. That's a dieback of the Magnus. And now they have full control of your base.
All right, so plus side, Magnus is level 15 after the back
yeah.
of this, but the game is done. Medusa, level 25, much more important now. Split Shot uses modifiers. Ukyo, he's going to go in, but he's just getting illusion after illusion created of himself, and I don't think even this Morphling's going to be able to stand a man fight.
But he will not. They'll get the kill onto Tusk, but the throne is now exposed. Another illusion of Ukyo. You got to keep in mind that's that split shot as well, so the supports have to position so far away. And TZY is actually going to be the one to call it. G's had dropped. A great game from Big Brain, really off the back of just God King. They played very well around him. Free lane thanks to the Undying.